Hey everybody, it's Stephanie from thirdgradethoughts.com. I hope you enjoyed my unboxing video, and I tried so hard to keep this separate from that because I think that the Erin Condren Teacher Lesson Planner deserves its own video, so you can really look in depth and see if this is going to be a planner that works for you. And also what I wanted to do in this video is compare and contrast last year's design with this year's design. I don't think there's like monumental changes, but I do think that there are some, and I want to point those out, and then we can just kind of dig in deeper together and yeah, see what's there. This is last year's, just so you know, and then this is this year's. I'm a huge fan of the rose gold coil. It's my favorite. So last year's, when you opened it up, you had Teacher Lesson Planner. This year, oh, it's Teacher Lesson Planner, right? There we go. And then last year's, oops, sorry guys, here we go. Flipped open to this, the All About Me. This year, there's an All About Me. It's a little bit different, but nothing too huge, right? I do like that the classroom resources and web resources and password has been split up a little better. There's also an upgraded font, just, you know, nice and pretty. One thing, and I kind of flipped by it, but I shouldn't have, right? These inside quotes have changed, right? Last year's, this year's. So much more colorful, but again, always just some good motivational quotes to help get you through. All right, the next page, Classroom Events and Volunteers, has stayed similar. Oops. Right. Last year's and this year's. Name and contact info, date and event information. Again, just updated fonts. And then helpful hints for the substitute, which I always think is such a helpful page. I try to keep that one marked. She has some really nice magnetic bookmarks, which I need to find and I can show you. Well, I have some around here somewhere. I'll see if I can find one, but they're really nice just to kind of keep it permanently clipped onto these pages, so that way the substitute can flip open to it and find it very easily. All right. Last year's, here we go, had holidays and dates to remember. If you guys remember that. This year's jumps straight into communication log, right? Which of course I love, because you guys know that's actually one of my sticker options, is to change the absentee log to a communication log. But I love this because now the columns are much more geared towards an actual communication log. So if you can see up on top here, it says date type, name, reason, resolved, date type, name, reason, resolved. So that's really cool. That petals look extends across the whole page. Right after that is the year plan. I'm actually not sure if there's not this huge spread anymore for dates and holidays. That's actually going to be inside of each of the months. So we'll get to that in a second. Happy birthday to you. If you guys remember, this was also something that I sold a sticker to cover for like important dates or professional development. Gosh, what are some monthly goals, monthly supplies, like all that kind of stuff. So here they actually just took out the title altogether and gave you more space to write, which I love. These are much more functional boxes and little tabs then for each of the months. So that's quite lovely. I will probably still try to get a sort of label up there. I'll see if I can fit one in there. I hate to cover up those pretty petals, but try to get that in there. It is marked your plan on the tabs, so you do sort of know what you're doing. And also the updated will have the matching colors, the updated stickers that I have. There's some cool planning stickers that I use, so that way I'm not having to rewrite reading and writing all the time. Okay, so, oh, absentee log is still here. That was from before too. The tab still says absent. It says name, date, reason, and note. So same thing. And not sure if that's something you guys use. We don't really use that too much in elementary school, but all right, the graph. There we go. And there's 1, 2, 3, ooh, and then some lines at the end, okay, for this year's. The other thing that's nice about this year's, if you can see, is that it's a graph all the way down, right? So it's not, last year's had the design on the bottom, this year's doesn't. So, I mean, just little differences. Again, nothing too huge. You can choose, oh, last year then the plan your year was here, but this year they've already included that. So there's just some extra line pages. You can choose your start date for your planner. The one that was sent to me starts in January. Gosh, that's seriously so beautiful. So let me switch to January from last year, and we can kind of see, we'll compare and contrast January's. So last year's January had just blank note page and then a quote. This year's January, and really for all the months, is gorgeous. So we have the January tab on top, 4 circles, you have these 2 columns, and then dates to remember. So that's where they've taken the old ones and just inserted it here right before the month itself, and then birthdays. So, and again, that updated font, which I think is just stunning. These quote pages, look at that. You can like see the watercolor texture. It's so pretty. I love this. And I love that January color. My favorite. So the January month page, very similar. The date dots are included. We have the notes. Now you have 2017, 2018 on the bottom instead of 2016, 2017. Makes sense. But everything else is pretty much the same. They have written out. Again, this is the new one. This is last year's. So you can see this is the new one that you're going to be getting. It's just so pretty. And then there are lined, oh, I see. So the line pages go before. Oh, was I using that wrong? I guess I kind of, okay, so I guess it was colored like that last year. So usually, oops, sorry. Usually I end up using this for January, but you can use the pages before that because this technically is colored for February. So there's still the 2 notes pages before the month, whoops. And then you get to this page for February. And again, beautiful watercolor, the February spread, and then the 2 notes pages for March. I just love these quotes. Oh, I love it. Here's March. A little bit of updates on the colors. You can see here's March from last year versus March from this year. Again, I think just with that watercolor finish, it just looks like it gives it more depth. April, oh, gorgeous. Keep saying that, sorry. Here's May, which is actually when our, here we go. That's our last month, is May. It's like a pretty peach. Ooh, look at that on top. Isn't that so cool? June. July, which also looks like one of my most favorite colors. Well done is better than well said, yeah. I love that for birthdays, they still include authors' birthdays, famous authors. I just think that's such a neat little touch. Here's August, my birthday month. Yay, Leos. Ooh, it looks like a sunset. That's cool. And then September. October. The tabs are right on the page where the spread starts. So they're not on the notes pages. They're on the page where the spread starts. One thing too that you'll notice, I'm not sure if you can like tell, let me see if I can somehow show this to you in a way that's going to be easy to show. Here's November from last year and November from this year. Okay, so you probably can't. This paper is much thinner than this. This is like, you can hear it, right? It's like not cardstock, but it's really close to it. This was just more like traditional paper. I mean, a little bit thicker, obviously, than just printer paper, but this was much more papery. This is like, whew, which I love because I have to plan with pencil. I set out to like make sure that everything goes according to plan, and I'm erasing everything by lunch. I mean, I just can never quite get it together. So I'm a huge pencil planner, and I know that this is going to be able to take a lot more abuse than the old one, although the old one always held up beautifully. I just like the idea of being able to erase and move and all of that good stuff, but it really is nice and thick. It's lovely. And there's December. So it's 12-month planner no matter what. I believe you can start it in July or August, or you can start it in January. So you'll have to look on the website to see. Okay, now we're getting to the lesson plan pages, which are sort of obviously the bulk of this. I'm gonna bring this up here. The week has changed to like a round a round number. You'll see that in a second. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday going down, and then the subjects going across the top. There are a total of 3 subjects on the left, 4 subjects on the right, 7 subjects all together. And then they're sort of divided up by these really pretty watercolory lines too. If you can't see it in the video, you can definitely see it in person. Let me see if I can pull it up here and make it set. Yeah, you can kind of see there. It's really pretty. Just those little details makes everything so much more fun. So differences. This is very different from last year's. Here was last year. Same setup, but very different visually. There was alternating colored lines, and the week you can see here like had the apple with the little number, right? I mean, so like same general setup, but look how much more white space is in this one. I love it. I believe there are more lines because, so let's see here. Okay, last year's there was the day and then the date, then 1, 2, 3, 4. This year there's day, date, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I actually love. I put a lot of stuff in this first section, like whose birthday it is and who's meeting leader and you know, who's needs to leave earlier, who's going to be out. I mean, all that kind of stuff. I write all over this, so I'm excited to see the extra lines. And then there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for last year's pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so same for this. So the lines inside here are the same. However, they're not the alternating colors anymore. They're just pure white. So that's kind of cool. There are 40 pages of this. So all 40 weeks are included, which we only go to like 30 something. So there's always extra weeks for me. But I don't do, I mean, I don't put in holidays or anything like that, because if we're off for spring break week, I'm not going to put it in there. All right. Oh, gorgeous. You really can tell the difference on this paper. That's incredible. Each page is so nice. Wow, that's great. It doesn't make it seem super thick either, which I like, because my big fear with thicker paper is a thicker lesson planner, and then, oi, right? You're like lugging around this gigantic thing every day. I don't feel like that. Okay, student checklist. We have seen this before. You can actually determine how many pages you want in here. The standard is 7. I think you can go all the way up to 21. I think it's 7, 14, or 21. You'll have to look on the website for this. Again, a more updated, whiter, brighter look. They still have the alternating colors going across. Last year's were all gray in here, and this year it matches the color on top. But the top where you put your topics are all white, which I really appreciate, because that's where you're writing everything. So I like to write on white space. Name, again, going down. It still has the option on the second page, which I love to do, where you can fold or cut along the line, and that way you're only having to write their names once. But obviously, if you teach different sections, this will be a great resource for you. So yep, student, again, the updated font on the top, just lovely. So there's 7 pages here. That's nice. Oh, I love, love, love this. All right, cool. So we talked about these stickers a little bit at the end of the unboxing, but I want to, ooh, look at that. You can see the metallic. Go a little bit more in depth with them. Let's see if I can bring it up. So look at those. They all have the little accents. That's so fun. All right, so cake and coffee, perfect. 2 food groups. Some flags. I love light bulbs. I have a thing with them. That's why they're all over my blog. I love them. They're in my office. Just awesome. These are my favorite stickers, the lined ones. These have just gray lines on them, but you can see they have the metallic. They look like a little loose leaf sheet of paper. Gorgeous. So these say big day, break, time to prep, me time. Yes, make sure to take that this year. Note to self, you did it, awesome, way to go. And there's some cool little thought bubbles. Second page. I love that these are smaller. They're not taking up as much space. Teeny tiny ones. There's a little calculator, a star, a globe, check mark, book, heart, something for science, exclamation point, IEP, asterisks, and the apple. And these are all metallic. They alternate between rose, silver, and gold. So that's super cool. You might think about using these like for planning. I sell a whole bunch of these in my Etsy store, but these have metallic in them, so that's fun. Some things down here on the bottom, again, much thinner than years past. Let me see if I can pull one up. Look how much thinner that is. It takes up so much less space in your planner. Isn't that great? Right, so it's not going to take up 2 lines. It'll probably just only take up 1. Note to self, meeting, furlough, assembly, holiday, conferences, to-do, reminder, testing, field trip. Cool. And again, all metallic, alternating between all 3 silver, gold, and rose gold. These are blank, so that is kind of nice because while metallic is super fun, sometimes you just need to write lots of labels for things. Let me peel this up so you can see. This has rounded corners, more just that traditional shape, but I love how the center is white. Sometimes it was hard to read on some of the more bold colors what you actually wrote on these. So that's really nice. I love that. And last page. Ah, see? Like, this was the one that was always kind of hard to see, but I like these. These are the little, they have the little flag edges here. All right, and that's on both sides. Oh, how fun. The last page, or last pages, I guess I should say, there's a huge folder on this side, and then the back side of this is a smaller one. And then one of my favorite features, and again, you can customize how many of these you want, is this really sturdy, it is very sturdy, plastic document cover. I usually put the district calendar on one side and then our class schedule on the back side, just so you can see both of them. And that way you just always have them throughout the year. Also obviously very helpful if a substitute comes to have your class schedule in there. These again are perfect for the wet erase boards or the wet erase markers, excuse me. And you can also just use Sharpie if you guys have ever done that before, Sharpie, and then I think you can take it off with baby wipes. The other thing I do is just do dry erase marker over top of the Sharpie, and then you can just erase it with a dry erase eraser, like from your board, and that's really easy too. All of these covers are interchangeable, so all of the ones that I've collected over the past however many years you can still use for these teacher planners. 8.5 by 11 size, and as you guys saw, it's just gorgeous. I love the updates. Hopefully you'll be able to get a lot of inspiration for this, and hopefully it'll make planning a lot easier for you in this upcoming year. If you have any questions, head to my blog, thirdgradethoughts.com, and if you have not ever ordered from Erin Condren, make sure you sign up through my link because you can get $10 off this. All right, have a wonderful day, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Happy planning.